Welcome back to the Tutoring Pros channel. In this video, we're going to be going over how to find the percent change between two numbers. First, you're going to find the difference between the two numbers. Then you're going to divide it by the original. And then finally, you're going to multiply the decimal you get by 100 to turn it into a percent. For number 1, we have 125 increased to 210. What we need to do is subtract 210 by 125, and then we're going to divide this by 125. 210 minus 125 is 85, and then we're going to divide this by 125. We're going to set up our long division, 85 on the inside, 125 on the outside. You have to ask yourself first, how many times does 125 go into 85? The answer to that is 0. So we're going to add a decimal and a 0 after 85. Now we ask ourselves, how many times does 125 go into 850? 125 goes into 856 times. 125 times 6 is 750. And then we're going to subtract this. 850 minus 750 is 100. And to move on to the next step, we're going to add another 0 at the end of 850. And we're going to drop that down. Now, how many times does 125 go into 1000? The answer to that is 8. 125 times 8 is 1000. When we subtract these two, we get 0, so this shows that we're done. We have 0.68, and the last step for number 1 is to multiply this by 100 to turn the decimal into a percentage. And finally, we get 68%. So what's the percent change from 125 to 210? There's a 68% increase. For number 2, we're finding the percent change from 50 to 14. First, we're going to subtract 14 by 50. And then we're going to divide that by 50. 14 minus 50 is negative 36. And we're going to divide that by 50. So we're going to set up the same long division that we had for number 1. How many times does 50 go into 36? 0 times. So we're going to add a decimal right after, and we're going to add a 0 behind the 36. How many times does 50 go into 360? It goes into 367 times. 50 times 7 is 350. And then we're going to subtract these two numbers. 360 minus 350 is 10. And to move on to the next step, we're going to add a 0 behind the 360. And we're going to drop it to turn the 10 into 100. How many times does 50 go into 100? 2 times. 50 times 2 is 100. And when we subtract them, we get 0. So 36 divided by 50 is 0.72. And the last step here is to multiply it by 100 so that we can turn this decimal into a percentage of 72%. If you learned something new in this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.